So, we've been filming for a couple hours now, and it's very interesting. Some things that I noticed within myself as I'm doing this. It's not like I've never filmed before. I film quite frequently. Film for this, film for my clients, for the membership site. But I notice it's very important when I enter an extremely productive work state that I shut off everything outside of me. I don't try to stimulate myself with distractions. I don't talk to people. I stay quiet. And it's very interesting. This is the concept of flow state. You keep a state, a certain vibrational frequency that matches the reality of what you're trying to do, of what you are doing. See, I'm emitting a vibrational frequency of the teacher right now, coming from a place of spreading value and making sure that I'm paying attention to the message that I'm giving and delivering it in an effective way, a meaningful way. And to do that, I have to be very centered. I have to be very grounded. It means me not dabbling around. It means me not allowing my brain to get out of this state to something that's reactive. I'm actually quite proactive. I control the tempo. I find it a lot easier to also stay in my own world when I do this, to stay in that zone for this. This is the last video that I'll shoot for this today. I could do it at night, but I thought, well, do another rep. The same way with training. You've been shooting. Keep your momentum going. The only reason you wouldn't do it right now is if you listen to a different voice, one that wasn't aligned with the best version of yourself. So I decided, let me show up. Let me do what I need to do. And let me do it from a calm and grounded place. And this is what you're receiving right now. When you control the tempo of your life in a way that's right for you, things become better. When you give that control to someone else, you will left feeling discontent. You will be left feeling discontent within yourself. Because you know it's not aligned with your higher purpose. Call it purpose or call it what you feel is the right thing to do for yourself. As a result, that will leave you feeling discontent. And as a result, that will give a subpar version of yourself to the world and to yourself. Which means your experience on this world would be subpar in comparison to what it could have been. Because you chose to ignore. You chose to allow other people to dictate the tempo and pace of your life. And this is why the morning is so important. This is why setting things up, setting your life up in a way to give you freedom is very important. This is why the 9 to 5 and choosing a life path that doesn't align with you will sabotage you in many ways. You see, I get some comments on these videos sometimes. Oh, Will, it's very, when you talk about people working on their path, you're assuming that they have no responsibilities and makes you look very pompous. It's very funny to me that this is what people take away. Some people get a lot of positive comments in comparison, but just like the few. It's a very interesting perspective for them to think that is what I'm doing. And the message that I'm trying to tell you is to listen to yourself more. Not to do what I'm saying. And if you were smart enough to listen to yourself, you'd set things up in your world to give you the freedom to do that. And if you've got responsibilities, you find a way to do both. You find a way to get yourself at a place to where you can fill your own bucket and fill others who you need to have a responsibility for your family. By no means am I saying neglect them. But you should think a little bit smarter before you take things on if you haven't even sorted yourself out. If you've already got them on board, you must suck it up and not complain. You must do what's within your control. Not letting other people dictate that. You dictate it. You set the tempo. You set the pace. Hey, this is what I'm doing. I'll do what I need to do to provide for everyone here. But this needs my attention. These videos need my attention. I have lots of messages to reply to. It's not urgent. This needs my attention. I need you to have 100% of me right now. And once I'm done with this, I'll move on and give them 100% of me. This is how I operate my life. After all, there's only one moment, so why not maximize the moment? The present moment. The past is a made-up concept. It happened, but it doesn't exist anymore. It's what we use to label it. And the future as well. The future isn't existing. There is only this. The future is just a label we use to identify what's to come, but that will just be the present moment. When you realize that, you just learn to maximize this moment. What's the next best thing to do? What's the next best thing? Decide where you want to go. Tick the boxes of your responsibilities and utilize all those other moments to do what's right. And if what's right is building something that can give you and your whole family freedom, you know what to do. Don't listen to me. Listen to you. It already knows. So rather than getting salty, commenting on a video to someone that you have no idea how he lives his life, why don't you take a positive message and ask yourself, how can I implement that to benefit my life? There's a difference. You see, things are a mirror. People who put hate out in the world, it's a very clear reflection of the hate they have within themselves. People who put positivity out in the world, it's a very clear representation of what they feel within themselves. You can't hide it. It's very clear. If you leave a negative comment, it's very clear that you're struggling. And if that triggers you to want to lash out more, it's even clearer. But if you can take that as a bit of some constructive criticism, and you go, okay, interesting. Is that really me? What am I not seeing? And you self-reflect. You start taking responsibility for your life. You put yourself there. You did. Your thoughts, your actions. You put yourself there. So how can you take a bit more ownership and start flipping it? Flip the script. Rather than putting negativity out, put positivity out. Rather than being a victim and blaming, take ownership and start acting. And one moment at a time, start building a life that you're actually proud of. Rather than complaining and commenting negative things on videos. What kind of person are you? Who do you want to be? Is that who you want to be? Or do you want to be someone who's living such a good life, full of so much joy and fulfillment. That's all you want to spread to the world. Everything's a mirror and a reflection. If everything out here isn't what you want it to be, look here. And vice versa. Take ownership. Wake up. Stay awake. Look where you are. You got to where you are because of your decisions. So think wisely and act wisely. Don't waste precious time. Don't waste this moment. It's all that exists. It's fucking beautiful, man. I can appreciate this. And I can ask myself now, in this moment, what is the best thing for me to do right now? And I'm going to go do that. I'm awake, I'm grateful. My vibrational frequency is elevated. I'm purpose-driven. I'm focused on what my higher self wants me to do. Make this video help you. That makes me feel good. This is how I operate. This is what has created my life. And I know people who do very well, they do the exact same thing. This is proactive living. This is conscious living. So are you conscious or unconscious? I guarantee if you're watching this right now, you're probably a little bit more conscious. Hopefully a bit more than when you started watching this. But can you keep that level of consciousness and awareness outside of this? When I'm not here talking to you. That's the next step. So start to do this by yourself. Easiest way is to have a strong network around you, support, to remind you, as you also learn to do it by yourself. I say this because I have so much love for the world, love to give, and belief to instill in people, because the lack of belief I felt growing up. I know what it feels like to live a life that you don't like. I know what it feels like to doubt yourself. And I also know that with sheer determination and belief, aligned actions, you can use that pain to create pleasure. You can use that pain to create something you truly want if you believe you can. I believed I could. Now it's my turn to instill that belief into you. It's my turn to do that for you. So that you can start believing yourself. And then do what you want with that. Pass the message on. This is the time where people will wake up. So stop being led by insecurities and fears. Stop blaming. This is the time to realize what's possible. And to focus on the good in the world. And the love that is there. It's always been there. You just had to see it. So I'm going to start with this by showing it to you. The lack of love that I felt for myself made me become the biggest source of it in my own life. There's no reason that can't be you. So get rid of the bullshit, the ego. Show us the heart. What do you really want? Mask aside. Take the mask off. Show us the real you. Allow vulnerability. Vulnerability is true strength. And vulnerability will attract the people who align with that in your life. Don't forget that. Anything that's not you will eventually go away. What's meant for you will stay. So focus on that. Step into you. And cultivate your reality around that. And for whatever reason, if you keep stepping away from it because you're trying to please other people, question why. Is it insecurity? Do you want their validation to feel good about yourself? Because I want you to realize that as long as you seek it from someone else, there will always be a hole here. Until you learn how to feel that yourself, you'll always seek it outside of here. And that will pull you further away from your vision and your heart and what's aligned to you. And that discrepancy will stick with you for as long as you cannot feel it within yourself. You feel it within yourself, you'll stop doing these bad habits and behaviors, and you'll choose to align with your path, and then you'll curate the reality. So drop the vices. Whatever you feel you lack, give it to yourself the most. Start giving it to the world. And now start living through that. And watch how all those vices and bad habits don't exist in your life anymore. You don't need them. Because you're already here within. You're full. I feel like I'm in Donkey Kong right now. So cool. This place is very peaceful. Just started raining. Amazing view. There's a barrel behind this camera. That's why I think I'm in Donkey Kong. The good old childhood days. We are blessed, you know. We are really blessed. And we stop trying to seek shit outside of our soul. Try to fulfill pleasures, fulfill insecurities that we create for ourselves. When we get rid of that and we realize that we just simply are, we are who we choose to be. Look up I am. Just look that up on YouTube. So you can understand that. As soon as you realize that you were never missing anything to begin with. You thought you did. You thought you were. But we are all just energy, aren't we? Souls. So why not sing a song that aligns with you right now? And realize that as long as you can sing whatever song you want, you will attract that. Don't be scared. Don't be scared of losing. You can't lose what's already meant for you, that aligns with you. You can't lose it. You cannot. If you emit that frequency and this person emits a frequency, and there's alignment, you'll be drawn to each other. You can't lose. what's meant for you. So don't live in fear. Live in alignment. Live in love. Truly. It'll come. Just focus on what aligns with your higher self at every moment. What actions align with that, and do it. And trust. Have a bit of faith. Lead with that faith and lead in alignment, and trust that it's all going to be okay. You just do your part. Do what's best for you, what feels aligned. And trust that it will work out. What else can you do? Enjoy your experience here. Enjoy your time. And to enjoy it, you must listen to that voice. Your true calling.